Hello, humans, and welcome to another episode of Gen X Gamer. Let's talk about the old man cringe community buying the Atari 7800, right? It's a different market for sure. It's a different market. Let me tell you, I've seen a lot of videos already reviewing the product, like they've already had it in their hands because it's similar. And, it is fair to say that it's, the guts of it are the same as the previous model, right? It's fair, but it's a different product. It has a couple of other options. And what we tend to do here on YouTube is we tend to be experts on things that we don't know anything about, right? Let me tell you, I'm very familiar with this. I've had guys tell me about investing, and when I finally get to the meat of it and ask them how much money they have in the market, they haven't invested a single dollar. I've had guys advise me on business that have never opened a business in their life, right? It's just those kind of things. And when it comes to products that haven't come out yet, we might have an educated guess, but we don't really know what it is. But the old man cringe community is different in this aspect. We'll buy everything, right? Not many gamers out there are going to be self-admitted hoarders like I am, right? Like I buy everything that I feel that I must have. I've slowed down quite a bit, let me tell you. But there is no real good reason that I own, what is it now, over 2,000 games. In my collection. At this point, I probably won't be able to finish my backlog before I check out the building, right? But it's what we do in retirement. And we have an appreciation for these games that other generations don't. We understand that these games don't look amazing like today's graphics. And we understand they don't even look as good as 16-bit games in some instances, right? But we have nostalgia for these products because we grew up with them. Is it fair to say that the guts of this machine are just like the other ones? A little bit, right? There's very few differences, but it is a different product. You get to do wireless, what have you, but the fact is that we'll buy it anyway, right? We'll buy it even if it was just a different color. That's the nature of this customer. That's the nature of us, right? That's what we do. That's why I own several Atari products that I'm happy with. Other people might not be happy. For me, I'm happy with them because of nostalgia. I'm openly admit that I have a very biased opinion when it comes to this. And probably a lot of people my age do too. Right? That doesn't mean this product's for everybody. But let me ask you, who else out there is making these kind of games for $30? Nobody. Right? You're not going to find them out there. Right? This is a very niche market. And if you want these products to succeed, if you want these companies to succeed when they do things that we like, we support them, right? That's how you get more products in the market. A lot of people don't even think about that, right? Who else is going to make more products if nobody buys them? And the thing here on YouTube is that negativity attracts attention. Asking questions, what is Atari doing? Don't they know X, Y, or Z? I mean, you can apply some of the same arguments the other way. You have people right now criticizing this. For example, let's say it's emulation. Let's talk about emulation, for example. These same people that will criticize Atari for using emulation have no problem, all right, pimping out the Chinese handhelds, with a bunch of games in them, right? They have no problem reviewing books or books on video games that have been played on emulation. That's fair game, but it isn't with the console. Now, let's put it in perspective, guys. This is $129, right? It's, it costs me right now about $115, right? If you had a Ford Bronco right now, it's almost a tank of gas, right? So over $100, $130 is a lot of money. But when you put it into a perspective to a person that's about to retire, that doesn't go out much, right, that spends most of the time at home, then it becomes a completely different thing, right? We want something like this to try out, to plug other things in. We are collectors. We are game hoarders. That is, our hobby, right? And physical media isn't that prevalent anymore. Instruction manuals, things that we value that other generations don't, right? People could buy a game today and they could care less if they have a manual with it. We do. They could care less if they have a case with it. We do. right? They don't have nostalgia for these older machines, and a time will come when you will have, a reissue of a Wii or a PS3 or a PS2. We already had the PS1, right? And even those, not that great. People still bought them, right? And modded them and what have you. Is a big embarrassment for Sony, but that's how these companies find out what works and what doesn't work. I think the video game industry, specifically for my generation, is better when you do have an Atari, because there will come a time where there will be a senior market for video games. The industry is that big. Somebody needs to make video games for us, right? I don't want to play an online game. I don't want to play Fortnite 24/7. I want to put in a cartridge. I want to put in a machine. I want to use an old controller. I want to play Crystal Castles. I want to play, Millipede, and I want to play them in the ways that I used to play them in the arcade. I want to play Crystal Castles. I want to play Donkey. I want to play all those older games, right? And even though there's a Nintendo out there, you can say, yes, there's a Nintendo out there, but the controls are different. You actually have to go buy and mod sometimes your systems, whether it's a PC, the Nintendo, what have you, to get that old feeling, right? And these companies are not going to invest in making reproductions of older products if they're not selling anything. So do I support Atari? Yes. Do I have a biased opinion in general? Absolutely. And I make no excuses for it. I want Atari to succeed. I want, retro companies or anybody that's making retro video games out there for the older market to succeed, because then I have a choice. If you're an older gamer, believe you me, that there's people out there that are not going to want a PlayStation 5. They'd much rather have a Wii. There's people out there that would much rather get an old ColecoVision that can hook up to a modern TV than to get an Xbox today. There's that market out there. Is it huge? Is it in the is it in the scale that of a PlayStation, of an Xbox, of a Nintendo? Of course not. But these companies can still make money, because there's still people out there that are willing to pay good money for these type of products. And a lot of these stores that sell physical media eventually will start turning into these, because this is physical media. This is the media that we grew up with, and this is what we want. Does it make sense? Absolutely not. Will we spend money on it? You betcha. It doesn't make any sense, but what in life does? All right, humans, I will catch you on the next one. Thank you so much for joining me. Remember to like and subscribe. This is a test with the new little setup that I have here. I just took a break from studying. I'm in the middle of finals, but I thought, let me just try this out real quick, get back to studying, and let's see if we can kick some butt here and end up with a good grade. I will catch you on the next one. Take care.